Good morning, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? We got a rainy day here. Let's look at yesterday's baseball. Let's look. There was 3 locks. First lock, Verlander under. See, Verlander wins, but because they're facing an ace, that game would stay low. 3-1 Houston, that wins. Atlanta under 9 was a push, so I don't know what. In baseball, depends who you have. And Arizona to win, lock, win. So 2 and a tie, I guess, depending on your thing. Hi, Andrew. How are you today? And Carrie, everybody good? Are you understanding gold better, that you realize that it's a fake, phony price? I hope you do. It's about to go really high, so just be patient. All right, let's look at baseball today. We have, all right, I'm just going to, so again, I got trapped. I lost Pitt over and San Diego over, and I looked, and there was like 2-1 games. And then I think it was one of the games, the Pitt game. I go, why did I bet it over? And then I looked at the, pitching. And the pitcher that we bet over with the 7 ERA pitched 2/3 of an inning. And the bullpen came in after 2/3 of an inning. Talk about a fix. So they end up with like a 2-1 game with the pitcher with the 7 ERA. So, yeah, I did wonder why that over-under was 7. And actually, that one was 8. San Diego also went under with a low total. So this is why I'm trying to stay away from those type of games. Let's go today. We got the Yankees in Baltimore. Cortez, 2.63 ERA against Creamer for Baltimore, 3-1 with a 2.59. Over under 9. Again, it doesn't make sense. You've got You've got 2 good pitchers. Baltimore won yesterday, a low-scoring game. I got to take this game under also because of the low ERAs. But it's not a lock. And it's, again, I'm relying on Kramer, 3-1 with a 2.59 ERA to actually be a 2.59 ERA pitcher, where Cortez, I know, is a 2.63. Toronto, Boston. Toronto's been red hot. We won with them yesterday, and we're going with them again. Stripling, 5-3 with the 3.03 against whoever Brian Bello is, 0-1 with the 10. Now, we know the 10's not real, but he is not a great pitcher, or that was his first pitch. I don't know. So we're going to go with Toronto because they've won the first 2 of the series. California and Atlanta. Detmers for California, 2-3 with a 4.11 against Ian Anderson, 8-5 with a 4.79. We'll go over on this. They've been scoring runs. Let's see, over 9. They've been scoring a lot of runs. Miami and Pitt, Alcantara. Now he's the Verlander of the National League. I don't know. I've never seen him. 9-4 to 1.76. So we're going to take Miami. Pitt couldn't score on a 7 ERA, so I don't see what they're going to do here. I would bet it under, but Mitch Keller 3-7, so that leaves me to, I can't bet on him. He's got a 4.55. I can't really bet under. Miami should score. So again, over under a 7 makes no sense unless they're thinking Miami wins 6-0. So we'll take Miami there. Minnesota, Detroit, Gray, 4-3 with the 3.71 against Garcia, 3-2 with the 4.28. I'm not touching it. I would think Minnesota would win, but both these teams are so bad, so inconsistent. Let's not play that. We got St. Louis, Cincinnati, McCullough, 7-7 with a 2.54 ERA. I can't answer that. How can you be that strong, 2.54 and 7-7 against Mayo for Cincinnati, 3-7 with a 4.48? I do not want any action on this game. Although McCullough is a good pitcher, but 7-7, I can't bet him. I don't know over-unders. Cleveland, Chicago. Shane Bieber, 4-5 with the 3.24 against Dylan Cease for the White Sox. I like this game under. Let's go Cleveland under 7.5. Tampa Bay, KC. I got Springs for Tampa Bay, 3-2 with a 2.53. Never heard of them against Chris Bubik for KC. 1-6 for 5.87 ERA. I would say Tampa wins the game. I'm not playing it because I don't know enough about Springs. I didn't see McCullough. I didn't think he pitched yesterday, so I hope he's okay, or they're giving him another day's rest for some reason. Colorado, Milwaukee, cool against Lauer. I have no idea. 5 with the 4.11, 3 with the 3.64. These are the games that get you in trouble. This has got to be an over, but Milwaukee can't hit. Colorado hits, but at home. Chad Cole, I don't know, 6-5, but a 4.11. Over under 9. I have no idea how to play this game, so I'm just gonna not play it. Football, we know not to bet certain teams, certain games, certain spreads. But baseball, like that game, it could be 1-0 or 10-9, and you really either way wouldn't surprise you because of the pitching. Texas and Oakland, Perez 7-2 with a 2.68 against Blackburn, 6-5 with a 3.62. This game I do like under. Texas under 7.5. This is our first lock today, and I don't know if we're going to have any more. Houston, Seattle. We got Valdez for Houston, 8-4 with a 2.66 against Robbie Ray, 8-6 with the 3.54. I don't know. Over under 7. They're not expecting a lot. Valdez, okay. Robbie Ray, decent. I'm not playing it. Now Verlander did win like 3-1 yesterday. I can trust Verlander. I don't know Valdez. I'm gonna stay away from that. Cobb, 49ers and the Rams, NFC West clash, over under 8. Cobb, 3-4 with a 4.09 against Kershaw, 7-2 with a 2.13. Of course, Kershaw. Cobb, 3-4 with a 4.09. So you hate to take this game under, and then the Dodgers win 9-1. So you end up with, let's just take the Dodgers. They won for us yesterday. They're good at home. The 49ers, not much of a road team. So they're okay, 48-46. But look at LA, 63-30. All right, Washington, Arizona. We won with Arizona as a lock yesterday. Again, going against the terrible pitcher who was on Detroit, who I knew sucked, and he sucked yesterday. So very good. Arizona winning today. Eric Feedy, 5-7 with a 4.91 against Corbin Martin, 0-0 with a 4.40. I have no idea. Washington sucks, 31-65. Arizona is not much better, 42-2. I don't know how. Maybe you bet the game over, but I'm not. Again, that's just flipping a coin. Maybe. And then San Diego and the Mets. We got Joe Musgrave, the ace for San Diego, 8-2 with a 2.42 against Carlos Carrasco, 10-4, the 4.27 ERA. I'm playing. It was a very low scoring game. I think it was a 1-0 game yesterday, and it was two big pitchers. San Diego under 8. So I don't really see, like yesterday I saw 3 locks. Today, even the Texas Oakland, you got Blackburn, I know is the Oakland ace, only because he's got a 3.62. He's not even an ace, he's their second. And Perez, I'm not sure if he's the ace, but he's 7-2 with the 2.68. So it's hard to play Texas against the Oakland ace in Oakland, but it was an under yesterday. We'll stick with it. So let's go through it. The Yankees under, Toronto, Atlanta over 9, Miami, Cleveland under 7.5, Texas under 7.5 lock, LA, Dodgers, and San Diego under 8. those are your baseball picks today. Let me read this. Nick, hey, Howard unfortunately got burned with the Yanks Braves yesterday. Oh, sorry to hear that. Hope all is well. I'm okay. Yanks fucked me. Well, they lost. I mean, it happens. Jays, what's your thought on Biden? So let's see. Well, we went with Toronto yesterday. So next, you bet the Yanks and Braves. Yeah. You always confuse me, Nick, because I locked Houston and I locked Arizona. So I hope you won on that parlay. Yeah, the Yanks, Atlanta. Well, Atlanta won. So anyway, you just money manage. Baseball it's hard because you're not getting what you get in football, and you just be careful betting it. My thoughts on Biden. Okay, I don't mind getting political, but I'm going to be always truthful and honest, and not. I don't say what you want to hear. I say what I think. I don't think he's there. I don't think he knows what day it is. I think he's delusional and absolutely out of his mind. But I don't think he's running the country. I think he's being told what to do, just like when he goes to the speech and he goes, "Oh, I need to stand over here," and it says it, and then he goes to shake hands and nobody's there. He doesn't know what's going on. He's not in control, and he's not making the decisions. I think that comes from China. I think China's running the U.S. As they are running most of these other countries, Pakistan, India, a little bit of Russia, and then the whole Middle East, the whole Asia, Africa involved with. They loan money out. These countries can't pay them back, and then they end up, taking land and assets, which is what China wants. The problem with China is they're going broke themselves with this housing market. They're big. They're a different economy. They are into housing. That's how Chinese people live. And so the people can't get their money out of the bank are saying, okay, fuck you. I'm not going to pay my mortgage. 83 territories, I guess you'd call them. I don't know if they're cities or what they call them in China, got together, and they are not paying their mortgages to the state. The state's going broke because they're not getting all this money in. And the people are saying, fuck you, I can't get to my bank account. So don't think the U.S. is the superpower anymore. They are inflating the dollars. And I listen to these shows and I get so frustrated. One guy comes on like he's an economist. I'm an economist. Just like I know football and I know poker, I'm an economist. And the guy says, well, there was price inflation on food or something. And I'm like, there's no such thing. There's one inflation. It's printing of the money. It's making the money devalued because there's too much. It takes more dollars to buy anything. That's it. There's not 5 categories of inflation. It's one thing only. The effects are, since it takes more dollars to buy a can of tuna fish or a Coke, you think the prices have went up. It hasn't. It just takes more to buy it. That's pure and simple. What the hell's going on with it? And yeah. And I've been thinking about this, and I think the biggest problem is mass confusion. People want to learn, so people listen. But if somebody tells you gold's no good, you get that in your mind. Well, gold's no good. What else can I buy? Oh, I'll buy stocks but you don't know why. And when I'm sitting in the hot tub at the club or I'm sitting at poker and I ask the question, well, what do you own? I own Bitcoin. Why do you own Bitcoin? And nobody can answer the question. Because it's down, it's going to go up. Why is it going to go up? So if I give you a reason why we locked Houston yesterday was because of Verlander, that's a reason. That's why we bet the game, and that's why we won. We connect the dots. Verlander means we win, means money. Bitcoin is not an asset. It's really a computer. And nobody knows, why is it up? Because people, it's a pyramid scheme. If the Russian oligarchs are buying Bitcoin, it goes up. When they get thrown out of the country and they sell their Bitcoins, it goes down. And if they're not in it, there is no reason for it to go up or down. It's not an asset. So this is the problem with people. They listen to people because they want to learn, but they don't know who to listen to. And they never know. You've got to ask the why question, right? So what do I stress when I give out a baseball pick or a football pick? We're locking Georgia because they got the best defense in 20 years. I'm giving you the answer to your question. Why are we betting Georgia under? This year, we like LSU over Florida State. Why? Because the spread should be 14, is 3. There you go, week 1. Why are we taking Utah against Florida? Because Utah's got the best quarterback in the country, bar none, better than the Alabama and the Ohio State guy, because they run systems and this guy doesn't. I'm giving you the why. Now you can go and then somebody else will give a pick. And what amazes me is you listen to the other person, but you don't know that they give you the why. And at least come back to me. I'm the professor. You come back to me and say, somebody gave me Oklahoma State. Should I bet it? What do you think about it? And I'll ask you, why do you like it? Oh, because Fred said so. Well, what did Fred say is why? And if Fred can't answer that question, what the hell are you betting on it for? You should be betting on it because you know the reason why you're betting on it. It's as simple as that. And that's what I find with stocks and gold and all this problem in the world right now. People, it's a mess. They're printing money with 0 interest rates. It's going to blow up because the money's not real. It's not backed by anything. It's freaking paper. So if you print paper, you keep printing it with 0 interest rates, you're going to cause massive inflation, which is going to bankrupt the countries. I know this, but do they not know this, or do they know it but want it to happen anyway? Like, what's the real why of why the whole world's collapsing? I believe it's could be the Nazis, could be the mafia. To me, Russia is the mafia, China is the mafia. So you got to understand that. I heard an interesting quote yesterday on the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Pakistan is broke and they need to borrow money from the IMF. And the guy calls it the international mafia. And I caught my attention. So the mafia is, I think, behind a lot more than we know and are told. And of course that. So that's what really is happening. So again, ask the questions, but come back to me for my opinion on things that you hear outside. That's why I'm trying to educate you. Andrew, Cole, you'd think Yanks would have won. Well, of course, Andrew, that's why we played them. But if you notice, I didn't lock them. The lock was Verlander. The lock is McCullough. Today, you can almost lock Contreras with Miami. Supposedly, he's the superstar, but I don't know. He's got a low ERA. Or El Catantrana, but I've never seen him pitch. I've never seen McCullough pitch either. Verlander, yeah, I live in Detroit, so I've seen him pitch. But you can see he wins all the time, and he's got Houston. So it's like Brady. He's got a good team. Yeah, they're probably going to win. So that's what you look. So this is gambling, Andrew. I mean, Verlander doesn't win every game. He doesn't shut out every game. But if you play him 10 times, you're going to win Verlander 9 times. And you're going to lose the 1, but you're going to win 9. I was watching one of these Lombardi things, and what they said was if Lombardi would have played Tom Landry, so Green Bay and Dallas in the 60s, and they said if they played each other in 10 Super Bowls, Lombardi would have won all 10. And the answer was because he knows how to motivate. And Landry just sits there with the sour look on his face. How he won any Super Bowls is beyond me. He doesn't motivate his players. Lombardi motivated the players. So they were playing backs against the wall every time they were in a big game. He made it backs against the wall, even though they were the Packers, but they won 5 championships. And they're the only team that won 3 championships in a row. And I hate when they said no team's ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row. Bullshit. The Packers 65, 66, 67. The fact they didn't win the Super Bowl in 65, they would have killed whoever they played. They beat a good Baltimore team and Jim Brown in Cleveland. So you can't sit there and tell me that the Packers haven't won 3 titles in a row. It's really frustrating. But that's what it's all about, right? It's the motivation. We bet football. Why do I say bet backs against the wall? We won with Golden State because they play harder. They play with pride and passion, and that's what we always want is the passionate people when you're betting. And in baseball, it's hard. You play 365 games, and you go from there. But it's hard. But that's why, like, a good team after a loss gets pissed off. There you get the passion. But if they win 5 in a row, are they going to be passionate on the 6th? This I don't know. So let's see. We talked a little NFL yesterday. If you want me to talk more about gold and the economy, I'm all over the place, so I don't care. I'm here to teach the class, my fellow Money Heist people. Be careful. So here's where you can be, Buffalo, LA. I don't know why LA is the dog. That doesn't make any sense. Buffalo on the road last year had a real tough time. New Orleans, Atlanta. I look at that game. So what I tend to do is look at the game, put my own spread in, and then I mark it if I think a team's going to win or a dog. So this is how I do everything, right? You look at it first. You don't let anything. So like gold. So let's take football to gold. What should gold be with inflation? Now, if you're pricing gold in dollars and you've printed more dollars and all the prices are up, gold has to have gone up. So when gold is being pressed down because the U.S. has a war on gold and doesn't want gold to go up, but the problem is they can only hold it down so long before it jumps. So what should gold be? And that's why I say 10,000. And then you look at the real price and you see 1,800. And that's why I say buy it. Same with silver. Silver should be 2,000. It's 27. It's an under. Let's buy it because it's way under. Because of the inflation, how could it not take more paper to buy it? And again, it goes back to the initial conversation of people listen. People have no fucking idea because the schools are so bad. They don't teach anything. So nobody knows about gold. They don't know what it is. They get into Bitcoin because they think that's going to protect them, but it's not. They don't understand it's not an asset. They go into the market because I'm going to hire a financial planner, and they get a financial planner, and the financial planner sits there and he goes, "Oh, well, you buy stocks because that's what he makes commission on. Oh, you buy Microsoft, buy Intel, Amazon, whatever. Buy the no-brainers. I don't know why, but buy them because they go up and will make money, and they don't." The financial planners they're not economists. That's why when I hear one on YouTube, the guy claiming to be, I'm a salesman. I was on Wall Street. You don't know shit. All you know is mafia and manipulation. You don't know why things go up. And then I take you back to margin call when they're all sitting there going, "Oh shit, the mortgage-backed securities aren't going to work. We better dump them because people are going broke because they never should have got the mortgage in the first place because their debt sucks, their credit sucks, and they're giving out mortgages." As soon as Clinton did it, I knew it was a bad idea and knew what was going to happen. That was why, and then that's what happened. Same thing here. So most people don't understand it, but since we understand it, we're way ahead of the curve, as the Joker would say. We're so far ahead of the curve. It's coming to gold and silver. That's why I say be patient. But that's where it's going. But it's not Sunday at 3:00. I know September 3rd, Buffalo is going to play the Rams in the first game. I know that's going to happen. I see the spread, and I can pick a team, and then I either win or lose, and it's going to happen that day. But gold, there's no day. Now, one thing I heard yesterday was the Fed of the U.S. is raising interest rates, but that can't go on farther because it makes money too expensive. Nobody can afford it. The economy is going to collapse. That's what will happen. It has to happen. So they're going to stop, and they're going to say, okay, we can't raise them to 20%. We're going to keep it at 3%. We got to lower it back to 1%. And when that happens is when gold goes through the roof, and that's going to happen. They're going to raise the rates again a little bit here, and then they're going to say that's enough because they're going to see the collapse of the economy. And when you factor that in with Pakistan, Italy, Germany, Japan, and China all having hard economic times, see, we sell to a lot of people, and they buy our goods. But if they're all going broke, who's going to buy our goods? And that's the problem. We have too much debt here. So that's what's happening. So that's why I push for gold, because it's an asset, and I know what's going to happen because that's what I'm educated in. You need to be educated in it so you can understand why you buy it and not get upset when COMEX, a bunch of freaking mafia, JP Morgan derivative guys who are pushing it down on purpose to keep the price low so the rest of the mafia in Russia and China can buy it, and the central banks, who are all mafia, so they can all buy it. Look at Godfather 3, the whole freaking, what do you call it? The Pope was mafia. I mean, they're all mafia. It's hysterical, but that's the problem. So you can see who owns the banks. So, of course, JP Morgan keeps the price down because wouldn't it be nice? I want to buy that, let me buy that Mickey Mantle card for $10 that goes for $1 million. That's what you'd love. Andrew, Bank of Canada raised the interest rate to 2.5%. Teaserking, stop hoarding all the gold. I'm not holding it all. I'm hoarding as much as I can get, but $2,000 an ounce, it's hard. You can't buy 100 of them. So I've got a lot of silver too. Yes, the Bank of Canada raised the rate to 2.5. The Fed from the U.S. will also raise the rate to a point. Then you're going to see the Bank of Canada. Now, I assume your inflation's at least what ours is, which is 20%. You cannot take gas, food, and rent, housing out of inflation because they all went up. So you can't say, well, inflation's 9 because we're not going to count these. So that's like, well, they hit a home run yesterday. We're not going to count the home run, though, even though he hit it. When we do the over-under, and the over-under was 8 and the game was 9, you know what? But that 2-run homer, we're not going to count. Well, that's kind of what they're doing. So inflation's much higher. So I assume in Canada it's 15, 20%. Therefore, I assume you're going to crash Canada the same way as they raise the rates. It's a show of, look, we're fighting inflation because there's a war on gold. Because if you are in the government system with the fake dollars, the US dollars, the Canadian dollars, the euro, if you're in that system, you are controlled by the government, and they want you to be controlled by them. They want to control us. But if you're in gold and silver, you are not in control. You are free. We are matrixed, right? Because I don't need your money. I've got my own money, and my money is worth a hell of a lot more than your money is. They don't want that. They don't educate you, so they think you're stupid. Therefore, they sit there and they go, well, we're going to raise the rates. See, we're fighting inflation. Well, nobody even knows what the hell that means. Inflation's 20% when you factor in everything. So therefore, you got to raise interest rates 20% because then people will bring the money back in. So what you've done is printed too much money. Topps Baseball, you printed too much Barry Sanders cards. They're only worth $1 a piece. But if you destroy 95% of them, now there's only 100. Now they go up in value. And that's what they're trying to do when they raise interest rates. but it kills the economy because things are too expensive. Credit cards, credit, anything that you have credit on, a mortgage, if you are in a variable rate, it's going to go through the moon. You're not going to be able to afford it. All the houses is going to crash, which is what's happening now with these small interest rates. So they'll all reverse. The U.S. will go up and they'll do their little meeting and raise it another 0.5 or 0.75%. But it's so low, it'll make it look good. What it does, the European Central Bank, Germany, the Nazi woman goes and she raised it 0.25% to go from a -0.5 to a -0.25. Why would an interest rate be negative in the first place? Oh, I'm going to give my money to you, and I'm going to pay you 0.25% to hold my money. Really? Who the fuck would do that? So it's very like, it looks good in the news. They're raising their rates. Oh my God. Well, you don't want to own gold because gold doesn't give you interest. And the dollar loses its value, it gives me interest. See, the argument is gold against stocks, not gold against US dollars. Does a US dollar give you an interest rate? No. All right, I got $10,000. Do I get a dividend for it? No. Do I get interest for it? No. If I'm in the bank, I'm getting 0%. Now maybe I'm getting 0.5%. If I have gold goes up. I mean, it doesn't give you a dividend. It just goes up. So when it goes from $35 to $800, did you need a dividend to make $800 an ounce? And even that's probably should have went up more. So I'm at the point now where I don't need a dividend. I'm not in it for the dividend. I'm in it because it secures my money that's in US dollars, Canadian dollars, Swiss francs, any currency that's printed like this, which is every currency in the world, except now the ruble. There's two. The ruble is now backed by gold and silver and commodities. And in Zimbabwe, they are now allowing, now this is where they're allowing you to use gold as money, but you got to buy an ounce. So you can go to the bank. It's $1,800 to buy. How many people in Zimbabwe have $1,800 to buy a gold ounce? So only the rich are going to benefit. So basically the rich are buying gold, which you could do anyway. You just go to my coin store in Detroit and you could buy it. So I didn't get it, but I did like the idea of Zimbabwe going to some sort of gold to stop inflation. So that made perfect sense. Did I play poker last night? No, I didn't play poker. I haven't been getting good cards lately, and I am a very strong streak player. So if I'm getting good cards and winning, I'll play a lot. And if I'm getting 2-9 for 2 hours, it bores me, and I'd rather be doing football. So no, I didn't play. I'll feel it. I'll know when to play. I'll feel it, just like football. I get the feeling, and then I know to play it. How many vaccines are mandatory in the U.S.? I don't know if it's mandatory, but if you get one, you get two. So that's all I know. But I know they took the ban off of the coming. So if I fly to Europe, if I fly to Amsterdam or Germany or anywhere, or the Ukraine, well, I can't fly to the Ukraine now because the airports aren't open. But if I fly to Europe and I come back into the U.S., so I guess even if I fly to Canada, I don't need that negative COVID test anymore. They finally took the ban off of that bullshit. So normally I don't need a negative test to fly anywhere. Maybe Russia, but I don't know. So are they still mandatory? I don't think they've ever been mandatory, but some companies want you to have them. I don't know. You don't need a mask anywhere. You can go to grocery store. I can go to the club. Or you don't need a mask. So that's finally gone. All that control. Gretzky rookie. Yeah. But again, it's got to be PSA 10. That's the key. Too mandatory here in Canada. Well, in Canada, it's brutal now. This is socialism, Andrew. This is why you especially need to buy gold and silver, because you are more controlled than the U.S. But since China's running both of us, it doesn't really matter. We'll all be in big trouble soon anyway. But that's what's happening. So yeah, it's a shame. See, government should never control us. You have some laws, and that's about it. I don't like that all these shootings at schools. I don't know if they're even. I know they're real, but I don't know if they're planned. And for gun control, well, go kill, and then we'll go for gun control because look, he used a gun to kill the. Could have used a knife to kill the people. Could have used a hand grenade to kill the people. He just used a gun. Well, it's not the guy's fault. It's the gun's fault. And they want gun control because what did the Nazis have in Germany? Martial law and a gun control. Nobody could fight Hitler. Nobody had guns when the SS and Gestapo came to put you in the concentration camps. You couldn't defend yourself. That's the problem with gun control. You don't want anybody. It all comes back to monopolies. If me and Andrew have guns, we're not going to shoot each other because I don't want to get shot. He doesn't want to get shot. But if only Andrew has a gun or only I have a gun, the person with the gun has the monopoly and the advantage. That's why you don't have gun control. You have gun control, me and Andrew don't have guns. And the only ones with it are the Army and the police. So they know it's a monopoly and they can do whatever they want because they have a gun. But if there's no monopoly and you don't know, so in the U.S., you don't know if I have a gun or not. I don't need one. I don't have one, but you don't know because there is no gun control. So nobody's coming to my house because I could have a gun. Andrew's problem is police come into his house. They know he doesn't have a gun legally. He might have one illegally, but they walk in fairly confident. But the problem is the thieves get the guns from Russia, and what do? They go, now they got the guns, and I know you don't have one because there's gun control. I want your money. And that's why the crime's so high in areas with gun control, because it's a free ride for the criminals because they know you don't have one. There's gun control. I can do what I want. Anyway, so it's all about monopolies. It's all about control. That's how life is. That's how the world is. And that's the problem. They don't want to educate us on what's really going on. So we want to know and we listen, and some guy tells us this is what it is. Or they'll say, well, the food inflation's up. There's no such thing. That's what I started with. There's no such thing as wage inflation. There's no such thing as food inflation or energy inflation. It's only printing the money is the only inflation there is, period. That's the point. You're making more money. The more you make, the less it's worth. Everything goes up in price because it takes more dollars to buy. But if the market says, I don't want to pay, then Oreos can't raise the price on Oreos because nobody's going to buy them. And then Oreo has to lower the price and lay off people because Oreo still wants to make the profit, which is why the sales drop, which is why the stock drops, which is why unemployment goes up. It's all based on the market saying, no way, I'm not paying $10 for a box of Lucky Charms. That ain't going to happen. But General Mills needs to charge $10 because their costs went up. It's not going to happen. Earning warnings go out. Their stock drops. This is why I say the stock market's going to drop. When interest goes up, interest rates, I can't afford the payment of a house. Therefore, the house drops because even though there's inflation, the value of the house goes up because it's already gone up. It's got nowhere to go but down because I want $1 million for my house. Well, I can't afford it. Okay, but I need the money. So it goes down to 9. It goes down to 8. Finally, there's a buyer who can afford, but he's got to get a fixed rate, and he's got to buy it at that rate where he can afford the payments. And that's the problem. If you buy where you can afford on a variable 2% rate, and then that variable is going to go up. That's a fact. 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't afford 6%. I'm defaulting. That's what's happened. That was 2008. And therefore, the prices on the houses will drop. That's why I say that. So it's all dependent on the inflation, rising interest rates, because as I explained yesterday, if I loan you $100,000, I don't want to get 80 grand back because that's what inflation does. I'm getting paid back in weaker dollars. So I need more dollars to get my 100 grand. So the interest rate goes up so I can still get my 100 plus interest, 105, 110,000. So that's why the housing market's going to crash. That's why the stock market's going to crash. And because they're keeping gold low, when that finally goes through the roof, when the 99% of the people who are brainwashed into, I'll buy stocks, I'll buy real estate, or maybe Bitcoin's the answer. I don't know. I'll buy Bitcoin. Once they realize that they're all broke, everybody runs into gold. The rich guys have financial planners, the Bill Gates, and he's in stock, and now he's buying land. He'll be broke. I can't wait for that guy to go broke. What a pompous ass this guy is. He didn't do anything. All he did was steal. He stole Lotus, and he called it Excel. Oh, wow, you did a lot there. So, I mean, but they don't understand. So they'll listen to their financial planner who says, you know what, buy stocks. That's the thing. Because they don't know. That's the problem. There's about 10 of me in the world. That's it. Whoever was in my class who got taught by this guy who's an incredible teacher. And that's what I'm sharing with you. So now you know, and you got to tell 2 friends. Make sure Carrie understands this, Andrew. And then you'll know what. So what I'm saying is, you know what to do. Like I'm telling you when we bet Georgia under against Alabama in the championship game, and Georgia under against Michigan in the first round. I'm telling you what's going to happen and why, and it's exactly what happened. The defense shut them down. They went under. We won. But see, now you're educated. Now you know you don't need me to go and look for a team that gives up 8 points a game and says, fuck it. Teaserking taught me I'm going to bet under on this if the line's in the 50s. So I looked at the Georgia-Oregon, and the line's 51 over under, and the Oregon coach is the Georgia defensive coach. So what do you think Oregon's going to be running? The Georgia defense and running the ball because they don't have a quarterback, and he's not interested in a high-scoring offense. He wants to run and play defense. They'll be lucky to hit 30 in the game. But that's what you're looking for, and you understand why. So if Oregon now takes on Georgia's personality and they give up 8 points a game, and Clemson, as I'm telling you, gives up 8 or 9 because they got 6 defensive All-Americans and no quarterback, and they're not going to score, and then you're not going to score on them. You don't need me to see they give up 8 points a game. I'm going to bet the under, and when the over-under is 51, and you go, well, what would Teaserking do? Oh, I already know what Teaserking, he taught me. That's the object of this class, is so you can think and understand and then apply it to other areas. When we see Van Dyke, when we see Rising at Utah and Van Dyke at Miami, and they got a great offense because now they switched quarterbacks, but Vegas hasn't caught on. They're still giving 48s over unders. And the defense is okay, but nothing special. And they're playing Wake Forest with this great quarterback. They're playing Duke with this great quarterback. We know what to do. Over-under is 50, and Wake Forest is playing Miami of Florida. Are you kidding me? And it goes 65, 70 points. We already know what to do. So that's the lessons here, right? You got a great defense, no quarterback, Clemson. You got a great defense with a good quarterback, Georgia. Okay, they're going to win, but we know they're going to shut them down. And then we got an explosive offense with no defense, which is Miami of Florida. Utah does have a good defense, but they score a lot. So you got Miami of Florida. They're going to score a lot and give up a lot. Beautiful over. And then you just see if Vegas catches on, which they don't usually. They didn't last year. And that's when you make your line, and that's when you attack because you know why. You know what should happen. And as Andrew's saying, Cole should have won for the Yankees. Yes, he should have. Georgia should have kept the score down. But it happens when they do go over. But make the bet 10 times and you win 9. Again, you're not going to go 100%. I can't go 100%. We're going to go 75, 80%. If we can pick these things and we see them and the line's right. We can't go Miami 78 and go over. We can go Miami in the 50s and go over. And same thing with Georgia. We can't go Georgia 29 under, but we can go Georgia 50 under. So when we get the right circumstances, we're going to pick 80%, but they have to meet the criteria of what we want to get to the 80%. And what happens is most people are taking bad picks, or they're listening to Fred over here who says, you know what, I like Utah State over Alabama. Oh, I'm going to bet that. Why? Rule number one, you never bet against Alabama or a Georgia unless you have only with Ohio State do you bet, or Georgia do you bet against Alabama. LSU this year, maybe Georgia, yes. But you got to be careful when you bet against Alabama. But if Joe says take Utah State, even against Utah, you've got to be very careful. You've got to know why. You can't listen to people who just tell you gold's going to go down. Okay, why? You have inflation. Well, he doesn't even know what inflation is. As soon as you hear that, you walk away. So if you have a conversation, I notice I'm talking to people less. Where I was trying to educate them on gold in the hot tub or at poker. I'll ask them like, well, where do you got your money? And they say Bitcoin. And I just end the conversation. I go, it's not worth my time. I know what's going to happen, but you don't want to listen to me. So I don't even want to talk about it. I'm getting tired of trying to educate people into that. Anyway, so back to football. So going through the NFL, New Orleans and Atlanta have no idea what to do. We've got Winston and Mariota. They both are bad quarterbacks. I would say it's probably going to be an under game. New England and Miami, I like the underdog, period. Miami's laying 3. I have New England laying 3. I like New England. But I'm looking at the game first. New England plays Miami. Who do you like? What do you think the score is going to be? Let's take the dog. Frisco and the Bears. The Bears stink. Fields. If it's Garoppolo or Lance, I don't know. We got to see Lance. He's played 1 year when he was a freshman in Division II. How you drafted that guy 3 shows the insane thought of the GMs, right? There are other people that don't know what they're doing, right? So I had Frisco 3, Frisco 6. I can't trust Frisco to beat the Bears. I can probably go under with the game because Fields won't do anything. Garoppolo or Lance won't do anything. So it's probably an under. Indy, Houston. They got Lovie Smith as coach and Mills as quarterback. I got Ryan. I like Indy to win the game. That's definitely Indy. Pitt, Cincinnati. Pitt, I don't know who the quarterback's Trubisky, maybe, against Burrow and Chase. The spread I have is initially -4 week 1. It's -7. I like Cincinnati all day there. They're not going to lose at home. They got to the Super Bowl. It gives them like a belief. Oh, we know we can do it. And they'll go from there. So I like Cincinnati there. Baltimore and the Jets. Again, I look at that, and I think Baltimore wins the game. Wilson's good. Jackson runs too much. Over under 45. Will there be scoring? Baltimore's an under, and the Jets are a Z team as of last year. It means Baltimore should score on them. So I like Baltimore, but I don't love them. Philly and Detroit, we know the Lions probably won't win a game. You got Hurts against Goff. I don't know if it's a dog game or not. I don't know how much I can trust Hurts. I certainly can't trust Detroit. Then maybe I look over under 46. Probably an over. Detroit with no defense. Philly should score a lot. Detroit, they'll get their backdoor touchdowns and everything. Cleveland, Carolina. Before this would have been the dog, and the dog would have been Cleveland. You got Watson and Mayfield. Well, Mayfield's a whole much better than what was it, Dalton? Or no, the guy from USC who sucked. If Watson's there, I like the dog. If Watson's not, then I got to see who the quarterback is. But I think should be a good game. I'm not sure yet. Jacksonville, Washington. Washington should never be favored in a game. Jacksonville should never be favored in a game. If you ever see either of these teams favored, just take the dog. Now, when they play each other, I don't know. I got to do my psychology trends, which are how good is Jacksonville as a road dog and Washington as a home favorite. I haven't done that yet, but then we get more flavor. Is Jacksonville a good road dog, or are they a good bet against? Like Detroit, they're the worst. You bet against them as road dog every time. They're 90-some percent. But here they're a home dog. Are they that bad? And how good's Philly as a road favorite? So just things like that. Oakland, San Diego, probably the dog here, Carr and Herbert, but a new coach, McDaniels. But then you got a big over-under of 52. Does it get there? Well, you have the quarterbacks to do it. San Diego's kind of an even team. They're both kind of even teams. They got decent defense, nothing great. Probably goes over just because of the quarterbacks. Green Bay, Minnesota. Green Bay, lane 3. Rodgers and Cousins. Let's look at the matchup of Green Bay versus Minnesota. That should tell you what to do here. New coach in Minnesota. Green Bay, lane 3. You're probably going to take Rodgers, or we're probably going to go over 49. Cousins. He throws a lot of picks. Throws some touchdowns. Sometimes to his team, sometimes to the other. I'll have to read that. The Giants, Tennessee again. Jones and Tannehill. Jones is terrible. New coach. Tennessee, Tannehill. They got the running. As long as the running back's playing, I think Tennessee at home wins, but not by a lot. KC, Arizona. I like KC. Mahomes and Murray. You got to bet Mahomes getting 3.5. I have the line -7 or -2.5, getting 3.5. You got to take KC. And I noticed, of course, they let Hill go, but then I saw they picked up some good receivers, so it will not a problem at all. And KC smart. You can't pay one guy $30 million. I mean, the quarterback, but then you can't have the substitute players and the backups, because when you got injuries, which you will have in pro football, you need to have reliable backups. So I can't give one guy $30 million. I'd rather give 6 guys $5 million. And New England does that very well. But they don't have a $30 million quarterback. They don't have a $30 million player. You got to have one $30 million player, usually the quarterback or some defensive end or a running back. But maybe an over. It's 53. KC's got very good. Well, they're an A. They do have a good defense. Arizona, okay, but I think they lost a lot of players, Arizona. So I'll take Mahomes in 3.5 all day. Tampa Bay, Dallas, over under 52. Brady and Prescott. They're both A teams, which normally you would take the dog. And Tampa Bay, I have -4, -2.5. You can take Brady in 3.5. I think over is probably a good play with Brady a lot. They score a lot for him. Will their defense probably won't be in shape, so there should be a lot more scoring. It's easier for the offense. The defense is all emotion. And then Denver, Seattle. I got Russell Wilson against Drew Lock. It's ironic. He's going back to Seattle where he played for so many years. He's 9-4. New coach in Hackett. Seattle has Coach Pete. Drew Lock. He'll be okay. Coach Pete will teach him. Over under 41 seems kind of low. Although Seattle probably is going to have a hard time scoring. So I don't know. Probably Denver in this one. Anyway, that's the NFL look. We'll get more into it as we get closer, and then we see the preseason. Don't get caught up into they look good one week. I had a customer last year, 2 years ago, trying to tell me how good a team looked. I'm picking this game because this team is better than that team, because look at them. Look how good they are. You can't bet based on how they looked, because if Ohio State plays Rice and wins 62-0, wow, look how good Ohio State is. They played fucking Rice. Let's see how Ohio State plays Alabama. Now, if they win 62-0, like LSU did, now we have So when LSU killed Alabama and they had beaten Georgia, then you could say, that's why I say how good Joe Burrow was. He puts up 40 points on Alabama, on Georgia, on Florida, and it's unbelievable. And that was my point with Burrow. He did it against the Alabamas, the Georgias, and the Floridas. So it's got to be, you've got to beat a really good team. Then you can say, look how good. But even then, it doesn't really matter. It's the matchup. So if Ohio State now goes to Iowa and they look so good beating Rice versus Ohio State at home against Iowa, it's a whole different matchup, right? Iowa's really good at home, but not on the road. Ohio State, pretty good anywhere, but Iowa, Purdue's much better at home. A lot of these teams are much better at home. Same thing in the NFL. You go to Green Bay or they come here. It's a whole different matchup. So you've got to get the matchup favorably, and that's how you bet it. You can't look at, well, last week Green Bay beat the Lions 52-0. Look how they're the best team. No, they're not. They beat the Lions at home. This week they're at Minnesota. It's a totally different game. And that's what you have to understand. Each week it's like poker. Each hand's different. I got pocket aces. Next hand 2-9. Next hand 3 queen. Next hand pocket kings. You've got 4 different hands. They're all random. You play them differently. You might win with your aces. You might lose with your aces. Well, I bet 20. I got one caller. He had a pair of 6s. He flopped a 6. He got a set of 6s. I lost. But you must be able to identify that. That's why you bet, to get the answer. So if he checks at me, I got my aces, I'm only going to bet 20 because it's going to get him out anyway. If he just calls, I got him. If he checks, I bet, and then he raises me, he's got me, and I get out. So I get the information I need. That's poker. That's getting information. Football, we get the information from reading the stats and doing the psychology on each team. Are they good at home? Are they good at the road? Good again, Minnesota, Green Bay. I have all that, how they play each other. And that doesn't really change. Rodgers has been there for 10 years. How Cousins plays against him, how Rodgers plays Minnesota. Even though you got a few coaching changes and a few other things, it's okay. But that's not really what you're looking at. Let's do baseball one more time. All right. The Yankees under, Toronto, Atlanta over 9, Miami, Cleveland under 7.5. We're locking Texas under 7.5. The LA Dodgers and San Diego under 8. You could possibly lock Miami or bet it big with El Cantranta pitching, who's I guess very good, but he's got a low ERA. He's not that great with wins. I don't think he's a Verlander or McCullough, but he's good, apparently. Never seen him. I couldn't tell you if he's righty or lefty. But he's got a good ERA, so we'll put it that way. Keep your eye on, you've got to watch weird channels on YouTube, and you got to pick out the right ones. So I'm seeing all these countries going bankrupt: Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Japan, Germany, Italy. China's having very big financial problems. So you've got to understand that it all comes back to roots. It's all good for gold because as the economies collapse, gold goes through the roof. That's why I say it. So I have my reason, right? You checked, raised me. I'm folding my aces. You flopped a set. I've got my answer. I've got the trigger. I bet. You checked. I bet. You checked, raised me. That's the information I needed. Now you're getting information. You're getting Sri Lanka, bankrupt. Italy, bankrupt. Japan, bankrupt. Germany, bankrupt. All these EU countries bankrupt because they got fucking interest rates at 0%. Oh, I raised it 0.25%. That doesn't mean anything. What does it mean? So they raised it 1/4. So what they're saying is we're going to make it more expensive to borrow our inflated dollars by 1/4%. Are you now going to take your money and put it back in the bank? The reason you raise interest rates in the first place is to get the money back in the bank to destroy it. So now there's not as much money out there which is what inflation is. You printed too much. How do we get it back? Well, we can't. So if you think you're raising it 0.25% is going to get people to run back and put their money back into the bank, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I guess some people who have no idea, but any person, I mean, that's why they're in the stock market, because, I'm going to get rich by buying, I'm in Amazon stock. I'm going to get rich because it's going to go up and up and up and up and up and up. And it's split 20 to 1, and then it's going to go back to 2,000, and I'll have 20 times. No, it's not how it works. You don't know how it works. You're doing it for whatever reason you don't know, but you don't want to listen to somebody, or you listen to the wrong person. So today's lesson, as the professors, listen to the professor. Listen to people who can give you a good explanation, but they've got to be right about it. You can't listen to Warren Buffett. He doesn't know. He thinks inflation is high prices. So as soon as you hear that, you go, no, professor said inflation's printing the money. The high prices come from them. They printed the money, makes it cost more to buy. It's not high prices. That's the effect. The cause is you printed and the money's worth less and less and less, and it takes more to buy. So when you hear somebody say price inflation, wage inflation, you immediately turn it off and say, these guys don't know what they're talking about. And I guarantee you, it's a lock. I know what I'm saying. I've read you the quotes on my other ones right out of my notes from my Austrian economics classes in school. And believe me, it hasn't changed from the Roman times. What killed the Romans? They inflated their money. They took all the gold and silver out of their money and had copper, which doesn't have a value. And there goes the Romans. How the hell could the Romans go out, right? That's what you're saying. Well, a lot of it is the military, right? The Romans had this huge military. Well, it costs a lot of money. Where are you getting it from? You can't print the money to do it. So that's the problem. You can't just print, and that's always the problem. We'll just print more money. This is how the people think. Well, we'll just print more. You have debt. You own your house. Oh, I'll just print more. I'll print to pay my house payment. You can't do that. You've got to make the money. You can't print the money. So that's the problem. But it's all over the world. It's in every country. That's why I would have went to euros. I would have went to Deutschmarks or francs or Swiss francs, Britain. I would have went anywhere and gotten out of US dollars, but they all do the same thing. It's like trying to find an under, and every team's got a bad coach and a bad defense. And you're saying, well, I can't play an under because all the defenses suck. And we're all the games are at 45. I can't play unders because I don't have teams with good defenses. But I'm going to play. It's like I'm going to play an under, but I can't find one. You can't force it. You just, if it's the right opportunity, you play it. You got to go in open-minded. So that's why I went to gold and silver. It was the only option there. I couldn't go to another currency, but I couldn't stay in US dollars. The US dollars kill you, so you can't stay in them. That's the problem. They will go to zero, and they're already going. That's what $5 a gallon gas is. They did not raise the prices. They're not price gouging. If you want to listen to that logic, then why isn't gas $20 a gallon? You need it to fill your tank and you need it to drive. So why isn't it 20? Because the market says I'm not going to pay 20. If it was $20, I'd probably fill up, go to work, come home, and either get a bike or just walk or not go anywhere, just stay in the house and walk around the neighborhood and not get in the car, not go to the pool and not go to the lake and not go play poker. Nobody would travel. You'd basically shut the economy down. So they can't do that. You can charge $20. Look at the New York strip steaks I keep talking about. So they want to raise steaks to $25 a pound. Good. Go ahead. Nobody will buy them. Even at 11, 12, they're like my ribs. They're $15 a pound. I'm not going to buy them. I refuse to buy them at 15. Can I afford it? Yeah, but I'm not going to. With all my other costs, I can go get a New York strip for $9.99. I'll buy that, or $7.99. I see steaks. I marinate them. I cook them good so they taste fine. Or I get hamburgers or I get chicken. It doesn't matter. I just want to eat. And that's my point. So what you're doing is the market is taking care of everything. So you can mark steaks at $25 a pound, but nobody will buy them. Nobody buys them. They drop. And that's what happens. I mean, unless you're filthy rich and money doesn't mean anything and you can afford any cost, I'll pay $100 a gallon for gas. What do I care? I'm Bill Gates. I got $1 billion. You did, but you're not going to end up with it. So that's the gold keeps the value. So as everything's dropping and the prices are going up, the price has to go up. It's an asset. It's being held down now, but you can't keep it held down. It'll eventually go. Anyway, so that's what it is. And yes, I talk gold a lot because I want you to understand it. In case you have questions on it, it's the most important thing right now for us is I don't want to see anybody go broke. And if you hold American dollars, you're going to go broke. It's going to be like China. You're going to walk into the bank one day or what happened in Canada, and they're going to say, the bank's closed. Can't get your money out. You're like, what the fuck? That's what's happening in China right now, today. You cannot go to the bank and get your money out. It happened in Canada. Andrew can tell you about it. But they eventually, I think, reopened it. But this is what they'll do. Now we're going broke. We're going to close the banks. What are you going to do? You can't do anything. Or the bank run. The banks don't have any money. If you have more than like $15,000 in the bank and you want, let's say you got 40,000, you go to the bank, say, I want my 40,000. I want to go buy 25 ounces of gold. And you go to the bank and you want your 40 grand, they won't give it to you. They don't have it. They don't have any money. They have very little money in the bank. They can order money, but they don't have any. So you end up where you can't get it out. That's my money. I want my 40 grand back. Nobody cares. This is what I'm warning you about, and it's happening. And you need to know about it. Now, if you don't do anything, you don't do anything. If you don't buy gold and silver, because I'm telling you to, that's okay. But that's you're going to need it and you're going to want it and you're going to be happy you bought it. Because when silver goes from $27 an ounce to 1,000, you're going to go, fuck, these are worth it. I bought 20 of them. I got $20,000. It cost me 500, 600. Then you'll be happy. And you can't lose if it never happens. And the professor doesn't know what he's talking about. And gold and silver, look at they're going down. They're not. You still have the money and you can still trade it in for worthless dollars if you want. All I'm saying is the dollars are getting worthless. You can see the prices going up. You hear on the news, inflation. And when you hear that on the news, you should be running and buying gold and silver, not walking and buying as much as you can. My warning is when the shit hits the fan and everybody realizes it, you won't be able to get it. It won't. My coin guy won't have it anymore because they'll come in and take it. And it's already starting to happen. When I went last week, there was 22 ounces of silver left. That was it. And I bought 20 of them. And that was it. So the next guy came in. There's no silver. There was a few ounces of gold. That's it. I mean, the supply's drying up. Most of it goes to the central banks. Funny how the banks buy gold, but they don't want you to. Like, really? So that's like you're betting football. And the line jumps, Dallas -7 goes to Dallas -11. Well, but you can't bet it. Oh, you shouldn't bet it. Why did the line go from 7 to 11? And they're saying you can't bet the game. And you're like, well, I want to bet it. Well, no, you can't bet. The banks bet on Dallas, but we're not gonna. We took it off the board. We're not letting you bet it. That's about what it is. So I try to put it in football terms so we all understand it. Anyway, I think that's it. So I covered baseball, the NFL, college. We did yesterday. We talked countries. Like I say, when I think the key will be when they back up and the Federal Reserve of the U.S. is raising rates, stops raising rates. And they're going to do it very soon, probably September, 2-3%, boom, boom, boom. It's not going to make you run and put your money in the bank. It's enough to collapse the stock market. It's already collapsing the housing market. Go buy a car now, instead of costing you 1 or 2%, it's going to cost you 6 or 7. Not only that, but the value of the car, my Camry went from 24 to 30. I'm not paying 30 and at 6%. Nobody's doing it. So the stocks will drop. And that's my point. So again, it's going to be very difficult. That's obviously if they're saying inflation. So, but you will be able to buy a house with a gold ounce. See, that's what will eventually happen. The US dollar will go out. They'll have some other currency, and then people will go, "Oh, you have gold? Oh, yeah, you can have my house for the gold. You can have my car for the gold." That's how valuable gold will be once it's out, and it's starting to, but it doesn't happen the next day. But if you were to go to India, Russia, or China, believe me, the gold people they all know what gold is. I got friends in Russia, friends in the Ukraine. They all know what gold is. You give it to them, they're all very happy. They're not stupid. Everybody knows what gold is, except for apparently people here don't know. But the poor people understand it, right? My friend in the Ukraine, she gets it. I give her a half ounce of gold. She is excited, like, oh my God, because she knows the value of it. Where here, I guess they were doing like, so a little kid, do you want a candy bar or a quarter ounce of gold? And the kid took the candy bar, a $3 candy bar, or $500 gold coin, and the guy took the candy bar. That's how stupid how bad the schools are in the U.S. Let's say that. So be careful who you talk to. Ask them about inflation. If they say it's rising prices, walk away. They don't know what they're talking about. If they say it's an increase in the money supply, which causes that, then you found somebody who knows what they're talking about. Believe me, as few of me as there are in the world who can pick football is about the same number of me who understands Austrian economics. So I'm a two-headed professor, economics and the football. And that's what you have. But I can explain it, and it's simple. If they can't explain it, they don't know what they're talking about. If anybody can't explain something, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just stammering around. I'll tell you if I don't know. But I try to talk about things I do know, and these subjects I know very, very well. That's what I'm trained in, and I try to share them with you. Anyway, so have a nice Sunday. Good luck if you bet baseball today. Again, the only lock really is Texas under. You might bet a little bit more on Miami with their ace going, but I don't know how much I trust that guy. He's no Verlander. He's no McCullough. Otherwise, have a great day, and www.teaserking.com. My football prices are already out. I wouldn't run to buy the package now. It's not going anywhere. I'm not going to use inflation and raise the prices because of inflation. The prices are what they are. They'll be the same today as they will be come Labor Day when the season starts. So don't worry about that. I mean, there's no reason to buy now. I mean, you can easily buy in August. But anyway, so that's what's going on. If you can't afford gold, buy silver. It's going to go through the roof also because it's real money, and you want real money, not fake money. You want assets. That's your only hope right now, and that's what you need to do. All right, www.teaserking.com. Get my email. Send me emails if you like. I'll try to do one during the week. If I hear any strange news, I watch YouTube a lot to get like the Global or some Gravitas channel, which is like some Indian, which they tell you stuff that they can't tell you here. And I try to find some economists, some English economists that make sense. So, I'll try to watch that. But if something comes up, I will do, like I did last week, a quick half hour on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. If you want, email me for baseball games or whatever. But again, there's so many games and it's every day that just try to get over and under teams. And usually we're betting over on weak pitchers and under on Verlanders. Verlander faces a 5. We're taking Verlander. 2 aces are going. We're betting it under. 2 bad pitchers. I don't know. We're supposed to be betting over and they're supposed to be going over, but that's not always what happens. All right. Have a wonderful day. Take care. I'm here, and any questions, I'll be happy to answer. All right. Take care, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Thank you.